Hi, hello everyone. Hope you guys have had a wonderful evening. Hope you've had a wonderful week so far. I hope you guys are actually ready for another relaxing, doodle-filled evening. So let's go ahead and get started. Now tonight I'm gonna do something a little bit different. As I keep things a little bit simple, I'm actually gonna be drawing fruits. And so, but also as I'm drawing fruits, I'm gonna be drawing some that are a little unusual, some little unusual fruits. It's gonna be doing something that are a little bit more exotic. So the first one I'm gonna draw is a dragon fruit. So first off, I'm gonna start with a little circle just for overall shape of it. And one thing about dragon fruit, really round, its skin, it's very not feathery, but it's very leafy. And so what I'm actually gonna do is start drawing some of these little leaves that it has on the skin. They're usually very pointy. They almost look kind of like cactuses in a way. And they tend to start at a little point at the very top up here. And they tend to fan themselves as they go further down the bottom. And dragon fruit, that's its common name. It also goes by the name Pitaya. That's actually another name it goes by. And these leafy, almost cactus-like skins, usually they're kind of bright fuchsia, almost pinkish color. Now, granted, there are some that tend to come in yellow, but most of them tend to come in pink. And you can see as I'm going down, like the little leafy parts, they tend to kind of curl out, especially as you go further down. Then we'll have some leaves that'll come at the bottom portion. And the leaves portions are very big and very wide. But they end at a very tip, very droopy point. And it happens all the way around the entire fruit. And since we've drawn a whole one here, this is what a whole one looks like. Now let's draw one that's cut in half. So I'm actually going to draw a section right here that's kind of cut in half. I'm going to draw a similar shape as last time, where I'll start with our little slightly pear-shaped shape and start adding our leaves. But I'm only going to add around the perimeter of the actual circle itself because I want to keep that circular center in the middle this time. So I'm not going to go around the whole thing. Add a little bottom portion down here. Now you have a small oval shape in the middle. So that we can get an idea how thick the skin is. And inside, even though the outside thing is fairly rough, fairly thick, the inside is is very soft, has a very white. Sometimes it can have yellowish coloring. It's very soft fruit inside. It has tons and tons of black seeds, and there's hundreds of them inside each one of these dragon fruits. And if you ever get a chance to try any of these fruits, I definitely recommend it. Personally, granted, they're not the sweetest ones around. They have like a mild amount of sweetness to them, but they're still fairly tasty. I definitely recommend trying it. And you can see I'm just dotting out with more and more of these little seeds because there's tons of them inside. And you can see, as usual, I'm using my red marker. Sorry, not red marker, my red pen to make my initial sketch. And once I'm finished doing that, I'm actually going to refine it with our blue pen. Actually, I'm actually going to use that in just a moment, very soon. Yeah, there we go. I think that looks pretty good. So let's start going over our fruits, with this blue pen. So right now I'm just going to start going over our leaves, making sure they look a lot more refined. I think a few years I'll make sure I'll bring these out a little bit more near the top. I think I'll add an extra little leaf right here. Another one behind here. Have another folding leaf here. And you can see, even though it has a lot of details with all these like little leaf-like structures over the whole skin, the overall shape still is a very ovalish, sometimes pear structure. Something like I've mentioned before, some of my other streams, it really helps to kind of break items down to very simple shapes. And fruits, even exotic fruits, they can be broken down to very small shapes. Let's get this one here. Have it folded around the side. We get these leaves at the bottom. There we go. Now, I probably could have made these leaves just a little bit larger. Probably could have done that, but I think that looks okay. I think it looks all right. I think as long as it looks like a dragon fruit, it should be okay. Let's do the other one as well. First, let me get the inside in looking good. I think I'll start with the center section in the middle, where all the soft fruit is. And I'm just trying to get all the little tiny seeds that are inside. Now let's start on our skin, at least the side of our skin. Get the the leafy parts here. Get the little bottom portion. Now I'm just gonna come around. Just coming around at the very top. And we will be coloring these in pretty soon. There we go. I think that looks good. Think about a little hidden leaf on the side over here. Okay, there we go. So now we have our dragon fruit. Have our whole dragon fruit and our half one right here. So let's go ahead and color that in. In fact, I'm gonna get our colored pencils so we can do that right now. All right, here we go. So what I'm gonna start off with, with is our whole one here. Now, like I mentioned earlier, like dried fruits, they tend to have very pinkish skin. So I'm actually going to color this in. Now, granted, I don't have pink on me at the moment, but I do have a red pen, and red mixed with white, or red with some pretty like light pressure. Since we're using it on a white piece of paper, it can end up with a pinkish color. So that's what we're gonna do. Is gonna go a very light layer with this red, so we can have a nice pinkish color to it. And also it's coloring our skin here on this side, on our half section. And if you're ever looking to try, fruit that's not too sweet, but has a lot of seeds, I definitely recommend this. Yeah, I've seen these fruits at different places. I've seen them at Whole Foods. I've seen them in places like Sprouts. To my knowledge, I think Publix, I think they started selling them too. All right, so we have that done. And now I think I will do is start adding a little bit of shading. So what I'm going to do is start adding a little bit of pressure on the bottom portion of these leaves. Just start as a corner with heavy pressure. And I'll add less pressure, I go further out. I'm just going to do that for each leaf. I think all the light's just coming from above for this one. I'm just going to do it for all of them all the way around. And these, as I go further towards the bottom, I have them be a little less light. So I'm going further towards the bottom here. There we go. That looks pretty good. And also another thing that we'll do is that we're going to go back with a little bit of green on these little tips. Because all these leafy tips, especially on some fresh dragon fruit, they tend to look a little greenish. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Gonna get the little leaves on the half section here. There we go. There we go. Get on the edge. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Let me see. Let me try adding some yellow, kind of make it just a little bit more vibrant near the tip. Plus, it helps that with some dragon fruits, like because where there are some that are pink like this one, there are some that are kind of a golden yellow. I've had some that are golden yellow. And interestingly enough, if I remember, at least the golden yellow one I had, instead of being white like this, it was actually kind of a pinkish color. Because it's true, sometimes the insides can be less like pinkish color. There we go. That looks pretty good. You know what I think I will do? It still looks a little too reddish for me. So, because even though, because I know a lot of dragons tend to be more of a fuchsia color, so it's pink, but it has like a slight purplish tint to it. So I'm just gonna go over some of this light pink I have here with just a light hint of blue, just to really kind of hit it just a tad bit. Yeah, I'm just being really subtle with it, just very subtle. There we go. There we go. I'm just gonna go around the skin here too. All right, I think this one's looking pretty good. So that's our first drew. So that's dragon fruit. So now our next one we do is going to be a little one that's a little smaller. So that one's going to be passion fruit. Now, chances some of you who probably have had like various juices at various drinks, you probably actually have drank passion fruit and didn't even know it. But one thing to be surprising about passion fruit is that like, the actual fruit itself is actually really small. It looks almost like a little plum in a way too. But it's got a really firm, like thin skin, and it has these little stems at the top too. And you can see their base like two of these round, like little circular shapes. Think about little bumps here for the skin. I think I will do a half section here because what's interesting is like while the outside has like this really thin skin, the inside has a lot of like seeds as well. Now, granted, the seeds inside this one, once you go through the skin, these have some really thick seeds. They're really thick and it's really pulpy. Almost kind of like almost kind of like oranges in a way, because oranges can be really pulpy. And some areas are sectioned in a few corners. And their insides tend to be a little bit yellowish, as you will see like once we color this in. Of course, now that we got our initial sketching, now let's go ahead and actually refine it with our blue pen. Actually, you can put a leaf on this one because when you grow, they do tend to have leaves. Let's get this little half section here. Let's get a little inside here. You have the little sections on the corners. Let's get our pulpy seeds. All right, so now let's start coloring them in. So one thing you know about passion fruits, their skins tend to be kind of a dark red, have almost like a purplish tint color to them. So let's start off with our layer of red. There we go. And as start going over with a nice thin layer for our shadows. I think this time we'll have our shadow at least on our right here. There we go. Now we use this red. Let's go over some purple. Actually, you know what? Let's use some blue for this. I'm going to use that for our shadows. I also figure for a change, as I'm actually coloring these fruits, instead of using my pen that's usually do a lot of shading, I'll use my colored pencil to do a lot of shading for once this time around. And the pencils I'm actually using for this particular stream, in case you're wondering, is the Kohinoor Polychromos pencils. I've been using them for the past couple of weeks. I feel they work very nicely. They layer well. And I definitely recommend it if you want to try some different art materials. All right, so let me just go over it a little bit more. Because that's one thing I like with these pencils, that they can layer pretty lightly if you add some light pressure, but you can add more color as you keep going further in. There we go. Now let's go back over, with some of that red again. Here we go. And you can see, as I'm starting for a lot, I'm just building with more and more layers as I add in my shading. There we go. There we go. I think it looks pretty good. Oh, then forgot color on our leaf. Go use our light green here. There we go. Let me just get in a little center right here. Now let's color in the inside of our passion fruit here. And now one thing about inside passion fruits, they're like I mentioned before, they're really soft and really pulpy velocity seeds. They tend to be very golden orange. So it's gonna go over like a light layer of orange first for our inside. Very light yellow layer. And go back over some yellow. There we go. So that's looking pretty good. Let me go over the edges of our leaf here. Just to make this little image pop some more. All right, so now that's our second fruit. So we had our dragon fruit. This is passion fruit. Now this next one, this one's gonna be a little interesting. This one's called a rambutan. Now they're not as big as the dragon fruit, but they're about the same size as passion fruit. Now their overall shape, they are very circular, but this is where it gets really interesting. These are very spiky. Picture a porcupine, it feels a fruit. And the whole thing is covered with long, curly spikes. And so I'm actually going to start at the top and go all the way around with these spikes. And as I go further down, the spikes get longer and longer. So I'm just doing to go all the way around the actual fruit itself. And while they're very spiky, they're not painful to touch. So if you ever come across these and you want to pick them up, you won't hurt yourself touching them. Just to let you know. Let me do a little half section here of our little rambutan. Now, what's interesting, the inside is also very pulpy as well. It's very thick and pulpy. It's very thick and pulpy, but it's not as soft as say like the passion fruit. It's a lot thicker. We get our little spikes going here too. There we go. Now we got our shade. Let's go and refine it again with our blue pen. Let's get our spikes. And see all those spiky bristles, they all tend to go out and extend to go further down the fruit. All right, so now that we got our actual shape here going for our rambutan, let's go and color them in. And usually these are the kind of a very bright red. They're usually bright red. Sometimes they can have all of like a purplish look to them, but a lot of times they're like a very bright red. Sometimes a little bit orange in the middle. So that's what I'm going to do here for our center here. And along the edge of the skin as well. Do that here. As I go further out, gonna go across with a darker shade of red. And the bristles, they can end up being very almost have a violet, almost pink, almost a pinkish color. So we got some purple here for all these little fronds, these little bristles. Just to make this pop a little, I'm gonna use this probably add a little shading for our little pulp here. And apparently, even though I haven't had rambutan, there apparently it's milky white, but it tastes really sweet and a slight tanginess to them. So if you want to try something that's sweet and tangy, this is definitely one that's worth checking out. All right, so that one looks pretty good. So that's our rambutan. All right, so our next one, this one's gonna be a little different. This one's called a crambola, but it's commonly known as a star fruit. And what's interesting about this one is that if you look at it head on, it may look like it's a regular like ovalish shape, but actually if you look at it from the side, it really is, it has these really distinct ridges that make it look like an actual star. So one thing I will do is I'm actually going to start off with our star shape here. And then I'm gonna form our little ridges on the edge, our little oval. There we go. And these little ridges are very firm and they're very thick. And now these particular fruits, I normally don't see these that often. The only place I've seen them are places like Whole Foods and Sprouts that specialize in more specialty fruits. And also I do a little cut cross section here because the inside it does have its own like set of seeds, but not as much as say the dragon fruit or the passion fruit. This one only has a few. And it was maybe probably about just a few seeds like right in the center. There we go. All right, now let's go over it with our blue pen. Let me go over to actually get these ridges looking good. Get a little star cross section here. Now this one's kind of a tricky one to draw because it can look different depending on very different angles. There we go. That's looking pretty good. All right, so I think that's looking pretty good. So star fruit skins, they usually tend to be very greenish, almost yellow color. So right now I'm gonna start with like a light layer of yellow for both of them here, both our whole star fruit and our cut half section here. I'm also gonna go over a little bit of green since I'm gonna have the light coming from this direction. The sides that are kind of facing away from this just be a little bit darker than the other ones. There we go. Yeah, I appreciate all you guys that are actually coming for our stream tonight. And so these are all different fruits that we've done so far. So we've got our dragon fruit, our rambutan, our passion fruit, we got our star fruit, and we might have one other one we might get a chance to do tonight. I'm not sure. Yeah, but we'll get to that when we get there. Let's get the edges of the little star section here. Let's go around the edges. Make sure I keep this little section in the middle yellow. You know what? I'll use another shade of green to kind of add some extra shadows. A darker shade. That little bottom section here. There we go. That looks good. It's not as perfect as I would have liked. All right, there we go. So that's our fourth fruit. So that's star fruit. Okay, so that's looking pretty. So see, what other exotic fruit can we do? So we've done dragon fruit, we've done rambutan, we've done passion fruit. You know what? I know another good one. Let's do snake fruit. Now this is another rare fruit. Now this is actually one I personally have yet to see in person just yet. All the others I have seen, but this one I've yet to see. I haven't seen them only online. So the interesting thing about these, now while they're very small and they have a very pear-like shape, and as you can see right here, the reason why it's called snake fruit is that its flesh, its flesh and its skin is really snake-like and scaly. So it has all these really thick, bumpy scales, which you'll probably see me drawing along here, that look almost like a rattlesnake in a way. And honestly, it actually looks more similar to a fig if it had like a rattlesnake skin. So I'm going to go along the entire shape of this fig. And as I add this little snake-like design and add these little scales, it'll start turning with snake fruit. I think I had another one behind here. I'll do the same for this one behind here. For this one. Okay, I have one with a little half section here. Apparently these have the same type of deal where the inside is very thick, very white, and very pulpy. All right, now that we've done that, let's go back over our blue pen again. Here we go. Just get a little tip at the top. Just gonna go across the whole thing with these scales. And also, just a quick reminder, like if you guys actually like my work, I'm also viewable on DeviantArt under the name Reggie J Workshop. I'm also viewed on Instagram under the name RegArt1993. Yeah, the links to both my accounts are actually on my YouTube profile page. So if you go there, you'll be able to see like where all my artwork is actually available at different areas. And I do have my work available for sale on Redbubble as well. So if you ever want to go there and actually get some items in for coasters, you want to get them as stickers, you're free to check those areas out as well. There we go. All right, now let's do this other one here. All right, let me get this nice scaly skin on this one so we can get it on this side right here. All right, and since they have like a scale like rattlesnakes, you're gonna have a brown, have nice brown scaly skin. Get this one as well. There we go. All right, great. Now let's go start shading in with a darker shade of brown. Actually, it's still a little too light. Let me use a little darker color. Give me just one moment. I think I'll use this blue where it actually kind of has some darker shadows here. It's fairly dark color, so I figure it'll work to add some dark shadows. Here we go. Let me get the edge of this skin right here. Okay, so that is our snake fruit. And my friends, I think we are actually done for tonight. I thought I had time to do more, but I actually have to cut it short because I have some other things to take care of later on this evening. But I will be back around for the same time this next week on this next upcoming Thursday. I hope you guys enjoy watching the stream. I hope you enjoy, watching all these fruits and watching me draw them. And as always, hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thanks again. Have a wonderful night.